Hi everyone, this is Kelsey
and Brittney
from Yes Prep Southwest, and today's topic will be on A equals PE to the power of RT.
There are two types of compounding, discrete and continuous.
The definition of discrete compounding is the amount calculated after a certain amount of time. For example, financing, savings, and banking.
And continuous compounding is the growth or decay over a continuous amount of time, like biology, radioactive decay, or coffee cooling.
Now let's get on the variables. A is the amount after a specific time.
P is the first amount that you're starting with.
E is the natural base, also known as 2.718.
R is the rate, for example, interest rate.
And T is, of course, time.
So the first problem is going to be really simple. It's over here. The problem is Brittney and Kelsey have been saving money since 8th grade. Brittney had her money put into Capital One's bank. She deposited $1,400 into it, and it continuously gains 8% interest. Kelsey's bank is Washington Mutual, and the bank has 3% interest compounded continuously to the $1,550 she deposited. So the first question is, currently it's 2011 and the girls are in 11th grade. How much money does each of them have? So if you come over to the board, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to do Brittney's problem first. So you're looking for A, and you already have P, which is $1,400, and E is the variable. R is your rate, which is 0.08, and time is 4 years. So when you plug that into your calculator, well, you won't be able to see it, but if you plug that in, as you see here, then you'll get $1,927.97 as your answer. So for practice, you can do Kelsey's problem and see what you get. The second question is, how much will the girls have in 20 years, 45 years, 100 years? So it's pretty simple also. All you have to do is plug in the amount of years into T, which is your time, and plug this whole equation right here into the calculator, and that's your answer. So you can use Kelsey's problem to help you out if you want more practice. So on to the challenge.
Okay, for the challenge problem, it says August and April were best friends since the first grade. They attended the same elementary, middle, and high school, even the same college. After they graduated from college, they wanted to fulfill their dreams of being involved in the music industry. Both August and April wanted to invest some of their money into stocks, but were confused on which stock to choose. So right here is a chart in which includes 3 banks, 3 different interest rates, and 3 different compounded. WAMU, 20% interest rate, compounded continuously. Wells Fargo, 16% interest rate, compounded continuously. Capital One, 0.04% interest rate, compounded continuously. Now for the question. Assuming that they follow your advice, how much money will they have if they invest $5,000 into your stock selection and leave the money alone for 13 years? Now the first thing to do when solving this problem is always remember your equation. A equals PE to the power of RT. You first start off with WAMU. Now plug in all the things that you do know. In the question, it says 5,000 is what you invest in, so that will be your P. Your interest rate for WAMU is 20%, while the time is T, 13 years. Now if you solve that, you should get $79,391.17. That's for WAMU. Wells Fargo. Now for Wells Fargo. Remember your equation, A equals PE to the power of RT. Your P is still going to stay the same, $5,000. Bring the E down. Your interest rate now for Wells Fargo Bank is 0.16, also known as 16%, and your T will stay the same, 13 years. If you do the math for that, you should get $76,278.206. And last but not least, Capital One. Remember your equation, A equals PE to the power of RT. And again, your P equals $5,000. Bring the E down. Your interest rate now for Capital One is 0.04, and your T stays the same, 13 years. And you do the calculations, 5,000 E to the power of 0.04 times 13, and you should get $67,652.700. And for your answer, in answering the question, assuming that they follow your advice, how much money would they have if they invest $5,000 into your stock selection and leave the money alone for 13 years? The answer would be Guamu, because going back to your calculations, $79,391.179 is bigger than Wells Fargo and Capital One.